I don't want to get enmeshed in Russia, Ukraine, because it's a moving target, and I don't think any of us know. But there is a sensibility. I've heard it here during my trip in Europe. You see it in some elite columnists, and not all of whom are hostile to Trump, who say trying to make a deal with Putin is a fool's errand. That he's just not going to make a deal. That he's just running out the clock. He's looking for advantage, and that the only deal he'll make is one that even I say in air quotes Trump couldn't make, and that Zelensky and Europe would oppose. So briefly, Sean, do you think Donald Trump is sensible to be trying to make a deal with Putin, or do you agree with those who say it just might not be there, and he should be looking for more leverage over the Russians rather than a deal on the current terms?
So I guess the way I look at this is that it's like in lieu of what, right? So you can, to me, this is a simple proposition of the status quo, which is you continue to fund Ukraine in a war that they will not win, that will result in more death and destruction. Okay, and we keep going for years, and we just because that's option one, or you try to find a way out. Now I don't know. I mean, the question is there a deal that we can get to, or a ceasefire?
I'm sorry, I was a little imprecise. I'm sorry to interrupt. Some people are saying they've talked about rhetorically more sanctions, for instance. Should he be
Right.
trying to make a deal on the current terms, or should he say we're putting 100% sanctions on Russia and we're moving troops somewhere, whatever, to put more pressure on him? Or is there a deal to be had under the current terms?
So I think that Trump is going to feel at a certain point that Putin isn't taking him serious enough, that he is out there. He understands. I mean, the guy watches more, TV and reads more in the news. So he sees exactly what's happening. And as soon as he feels as though Putin is not respecting him at the level that is merited, he will ratchet it up. He is not going to sit back and let Putin publicly try to take advantage of the situation. So I believe that we will get to a point where either we will get to a deal, or Trump is going to say, I've been trying to do this. Let me show you what I can do to you.
Dan.
Mostly economic, by the way.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think the $1 million question is how desperate is Trump for a deal, right? A deal for a deal's sake, because I think Putin is not stupid enough to do what Sean just said, which is to embarrass Trump. I think instead what he's going to do is just sweet talk him. He'll just give a little bit and then hope Trump feels like, okay, I'm getting closer. Let me go browbeat Zelensky and then give you more, Mr. Putin. Let me give you more, Mr. Putin. And he's going to just keep taking and taking because Trump is so desperate for a deal. Sean, I hear you about more people being killed. The Ukrainians are fighting for their country. They're asking us for the arms. It's not us putting our troops to be slaughtered on the front line. They are saying we want to be an independent nation. This, thug or tyrant is trying to take our country. Like that.
I'm well aware of what's at stake. And for 4 years, the Biden administration didn't give them what they needed.
Oh, but hold on a second, because you guys kept saying time to cut the arms and get out of this, make them, America first. That is why we did not send more, because Joe Biden, after about 6 months, had to beg and plead to get Republicans.
It's because for the first 2 years, you didn't give them the tools that they actually needed, the weaponry, the munition. It's fully documented what you didn't get.
Okay, well then you know what? You guys should give it to them to get leverage.
All right, we're not going to litigate this today, I don't believe, successfully anyway.